Right, so for my next batch of the Court of the Seven-Headed Serpent, I've got two of these knights, Hell Knights, which I didn't think I had, but I do have. So that's these two. Right now, or from now on, I'm very mindful of base sizes. It's something I've learned. And on their stats, they've got to go on 40mm bases, which I've got loads of. So that's good. Then we've got a Wretched, and he does look pretty wretched, and he will look pretty wretched. And he's got to go on a 25mm base. Now I've got loads of the old Slaughter bases, so all that is a disc of plasticard to fill in the gap, and he is good to go. Then I've got the Hunter of the Left-Handed Path, who looks fabulous, and I'm looking forward to doing him. It looks like he's got a cloak and hood made out of greasy flesh by the looks of it, but with eyeballs in it. That does look kind of like, like fat off of a bit of meat, doesn't it? So yeah, he's got like a fatty cloak, if you like. So looking forward to doing him. I haven't read the lore on him. He's the Hunter of the Left-Handed Path. His left hand, you can see, is like sticking out of this bow and arrow, which seems to have been grown out of meat as well. So this is going to be fun. He's got to go on a 32mm base, and I haven't got any Citadel 32mm bases at the moment, but what I do have is a couple of these leftover bases that I bought way back when I first started dipping my toe into Trench Crusade, and I discounted them because they're thicker than a Citadel base. But I guess in this case it doesn't matter. Even though he's small, he's more of a hero figure, and if he's a little bit higher than the rest, then so be it. So with them primed in grey then white, thought has turned to colours. I know pretty much what I'm going to do with that fella. The only question is how much rust is going to be on him. For this fella though, this is a bit of an experiment, and one of the reasons I've sprayed them in white, in that for his armour I'm going to use this death metal from Army Painter, which I've used before on this fella, okay. And I'm kind of happy with it, but it is really quite dark, and I had to dry brush it with mithril silver and then some copper to get the highlights to stand out. But I'm thinking maybe it was dark because I sprayed it over a grey primer. So let's see what it looks like over a white primer. And I'm also going to do the same thing with this chap, because he doesn't have an awful lot of armour. All right. And then the final Hell Knight, this Hell Knight, I've decided I'm going to have a bit of fun with this fella and not go my normal route. This is going to be the Red Knight. I'm going to paint him in red. So I'll come back with them all, well, at least having some base colours on. Well, it didn't make much of a difference putting that on over white than grey. So I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to highlight this with silver and a little bit of gold. But this fella, I'm just going to highlight with gold because he's a bit fancier, I think. The Wretched, he is very pale in the artwork, so that's pallid witch flesh with a little bit of flayed one flesh added to it. And yeah, the Red Knight, a basic coat of Mephiston red. All of them now are going to start have work put on them. I'm going to put a red contrast paint over him, and very thin down Reichland flesh over him, because I don't want him looking healthy in the slightest. Okay, I'm turning to the inside of the cloak and his bow arm now. And what I've done there is just base coated it in flayed one flesh, and just did a very blocky, crude highlight of pallid witch flesh, because all this is going to be getting contrast paints. I think just to make it pop a bit more, I'm going to put a bit of white on the very highest areas before applying that. All right. And while I'm also doing that, I've got to start picking out the chainmail skirt, which a lot of these figures seem to enjoy wearing, like this fella here. Here you can see I've got one of the coffee stirrers. Did the usual thing, score it with a scalpel over and over again, then pick bits out so it's not too perfect. So that's down. So yeah, going to pick out the regular metallics, and he's got quite a bit there. He's got some sort of cloak up top with a skull. They all seem to have this liking for having skulls on their back, like a mini little skull backpack rucksack thing, because he's got one, and I don't think I've showed you the back of him, but he's got like a demon one. All right, I've done the flesh on the Wretched. That's flayed one flesh, pallid witch flesh, washed with thin down Reichland flesh. I think I've said this already. And I've just highlighted it with pallid witch flesh. What I'm looking forward to doing with this chap is everything that you can see that is white is metal, and very rusty metal, really rusty metal. So that's going to be fun. Looking forward to that. And then, yeah, the Red Knight is now quite red. I enjoy dry brushing reds. Red seems to me to be the easiest one to do. So what I've done is, that was the Mephiston red. I then washed it with Berserker Bloodshade, dry brush back over with Mephiston red, then Evil Sun Scarlet, and then with a small brush just pick out the very top areas with Astaroth red, and it gets you that, which I really, really like. I like the idea of red knights. Maybe I'll be doing this some more. All right, I'll come back. Yeah, I've got to put his regular metallics on. Let's turn him around. Has he got a skull rucksack? Yep. Yep. Right. Okay. I'll add a bit more, and then, sorry, it's early in the morning. I'll add a bit more, and then I'll come back. Right, so that's Army Painter Dark Rust on him. I've got to also pick out, can you see there? He's got like rusty spikes, studs embedded in his skin. So I've got to just refine that. These guys have got the regular metallics on. This guy I've really got to rust up. Everything's just becoming too metallic. I've got to get some colour in there. All right, and ditto this guy. Picked out the eyes, and this is fresh blood. I wanted, that's demonic skin. That is fresh blood, is it? I'll come back with the bottle and you can see what it is. But I wanted those two to be separate from each other. I didn't want everything to just merge into one big blob of redness. Right, so a very quick update here. Just breaking up the reds. He's all on his way. I think I might do the horn tips gold just for something a bit different, but he's nearly there. I've got to obviously do his skin tones because his hands are visible. All right, we're not far off needing to detail the base. This guy, yeah, trying to break that up. I'm hoping the villainy inks are going to break things up a bit more as well. Oh, I didn't notice that, but look at his right leg. When the light catches it, you can actually see the green of the death metal. That's rather nifty. Yeah, so I might do this shield real rusty as well. Otherwise it's just too much the same, isn't it? And again, I'm going to have to put some scatter material on. This little chap, been building up the rust. Still haven't done the studs which are embedded in him, but I'm looking forward to applying the rust. I've done his weapon in a completely different style to the rest of him, because you know, he picks up and uses weapons as he finds them. All right, so he's not far off. Then with this chap, not too apparent, but what this is pallid witch flesh and highlighted with Corax white to make it nice and white and light, ready for the grey wash which I'll be putting on it, because yeah, it's like an oily, fatty, fleshy substance on the other side of that. And as you can see, I've put the eyes in dark grey, but I've washed white over that one to make it milky like it is in the illustrations. Oh, and I've put the other metallics, so the chains around his arm. Again, with this fella, I've got to address his skin tones. So, oh, and I've picked out his hand sticking out in white, so that's ready for a skin tone as well. So we're cracking on in. Not much longer to go. Not far from the end now. Just got to put a wash over those horns, just define the rust a bit more. I've done the base, just got to wash that a little bit more. And I'm on my way with the skin tones. And then he's going to be ready for blood. I'm in an iron about how much blood I'm going to put on that one. This fella, ditto. I want to, by the way, these horns are really sharp. I actually stabbed myself and bled last night going to pick him up without looking, and he got me. So same sort of thing there. This disc thing I'm going to do in maybe a goldy colour and some verdigris. I've decided to rust up that shield mightily, and yeah, holding off for the last minute with the gore. Oh, based the planking. All right. This guy's ready to go. Just he just needs some gore, and of course that's going to be on that. It's going to be everywhere where things are attached to him, and all these scars that he's got all over him. All right, and then the main figure in this group, yeah, floorboards are done. This has gone through white, grey, pink, white again. It's come out quite nice. As you see, there's a bit there that just needs a bit more work on it. And it has got a sheen to it. I'm in an iron about whether to gloss varnish it. But before I do that, I've got to put in the true blood, which is going to be on, which is like fresh blood, which is going to be on all the horns inside the hood area, and on these fleshy areas, because the artwork, that's far more red. Okay. Oh, and I've just got to sort out the metallic necklace and the demon skull on the back and all the metal framework that it is attached to. All right, and then yeah, got to gore that one up. So I think next time. Oh, also didn't say, but if you look at his feet, the skin is what I've been doing a lot, which is Games Workshop Flayed One Flesh, highlighted with pallid witch flesh, and then Vallejo's speed paint demonic skin. All right, so I think we're almost done. So I'll come back with them all finished. Right, that's these all done. The little fella down here, that was quite tricky. The illustration has it that he's covered in blood, and that's what I've done. And yeah, it was tricky to try and actually leave a bit of skin still exposed. So he's finished. He's being upstaged like mad by the people behind him at the moment because he's not focusing. Poor wretched little wretched. So move him out the way. This one I'm kind of pleased with. He's still kind of dull coloured, even though I've splattered him with gore. I've deliberately not put any on the shield just to just have a bit of difference. But yeah, he's all right. He's a bit dull colour-wise, but and even the gore, didn't lighten him up too much. But he's all right. He's okay. Far more distinctive is the Red Knight. The only problem I've had, of course, is when you start applying the gore, red on red's not really going to show up. You can see a little bit there on his left hip. There's some on there, but it's not too distinctive. But I'm quite pleased how he's come out. But I think this is the only figure I'll be doing in red. And yeah, and then you got the centerpiece, this one. What I've done after putting the blood on the sickle, I've put some dried blood down where that spear or whatever it is that's coming out of the bow, the arrow, I suppose. I've put dried blood in there because it's quite dark in the painting. And yeah, gloss varnish on the eyeballs and slop some on the inside of the cloak. And a lot of gloss varnish on the hood and the outside of the cloak to suggest, just like in the illustration, that it's like a fatty meat the cloak and hood is made out of. So there we go. That's them done. I've got two more members of the court of the seven-headed serpent in various stages. And it won't be long until I come along with the next one.